modifications these are, otherwise the theorem sort of doesn't seem to have a point, because it says there's a sequence of modifications we can make to a knot projection D1. So you say you start with one projection like this. Say you come up with another projection of the same knot, so something that represents the unknot. Like say, I'm not going to make something too complicated. Let's make something that a lot of you can kind of see is unknotted. Like that. Maybe it takes a few seconds, but kind of look at it, you see I can take this, kind of twist it up, and straighten it out. So the knot this represents should also be unknotted. Well, Reidemeister's move says I can modify the picture in some way, a sequence of moves that will take me to this picture. So it's a modification I make to the picture. And that's not very interesting unless the modification is particularly nice, because someone could take the real knot sort of corresponding to this picture, move it around, but imagine like the projection I do is kind of like shining a light, right, on the blackboard. As I move this knot around, because it's the same knot, they represent the same knot, so I should be able to move the knot around corresponding to this diagram until it becomes unknotted and projects to just a circle. While I'm doing this, I'm projecting and getting a bunch of pictures. So there is a sequence of pictures that take me from here to here. It's just kind of stupid, you know, unless the pictures I get are particularly simple, right? Because the idea is going to be that in three-dimensional space, the moves we make are very complicated to get to here. But to understand the pictures, the sequence of pictures that take me from here to here, it's going to be very easy. And it'll allow us to do certain kind of mathematical things that it's just basically counting arguments and counting stuff like you're going to do on the later part of the homework. So what are these moves? Well, there's three types of moves. So three types of moves. I guess they're called Reidemeister moves, so let's call them Reidemeister moves. Okay, so the first one's type 1, and they don't have very interesting names for those type 1, type 2, type 3. But type 1 is you see a picture, that part of the picture that looks like a little loop here. So I'm going to draw a dashed circle here. What does this dashed circle mean? It means that outside the dashed circle is the rest of the picture of the knot. Like, you know, I'll erase it in just a sec, but the rest of the picture of the knot might be doing something. Yeah, but I'm only going to talk about what happens in here, okay, inside the circle. Okay, so inside, like a little region of the diagram or the knot projection, there's a loop, and the move is inside that tiny region, I just straighten it out. Okay, and I'm allowed to do it the other way too. So for each move, you can go both directions. So each move type kind of describes a move and its opposite, like reversing move. So I'll draw two arrows there, double-headed arrow. So type 2 is the same kind of thing, but with more than one strand. So let's see, take 2 strands there, and I guess you can sort of slide them together. And looks like that. So one thing to note about these two Reidemeister moves so far is there's a move that simplifies, so you can simplify this to something like this, and there's a move that sort of complicates. The backwards way complicates, right? And this way complicates by making more crossings, but this way you can, if you see a thing like this, you can just sort of pull them past like that. So these are very simple modifications to a picture. So the type 3 moves, kind of interesting. it doesn't actually change sort of the complexity of the projection. It just kind of changes the projection to another projection that looks just about as complicated. So this one uses 3. So you'll notice that the type 1 move uses one kind of like strand here, and type 2 uses like sort of 2. Type 3 is going to involve 3. So that's one way to remember the naming of these. But say you have 2 things crossing like that, and say you have a third one that kind of goes underneath like that. So here's 3 strands, and the move is you slide one strand under the other 2. So like that. So say the X-shaped ones stay, and then the one sort of underneath, you slide it down like that. So one thing I want to mention about these moves is, I mean, if you look at the book, they'll draw more than just these 2 pictures for the type 2 book, or type 2 move. They'll draw another picture that goes from like here to here, but with the over and over crossings here, over and under crossings switched. But it's the same type of move. I mean, just turn your head and look, and you'll see that, right? Because the book will, let me just make a note here. This is like an aside, you don't have to write it down. But the book will talk about a move that looks like you take this to like this, but it's really, you know, this description really, I'm describing this kind of move too. Okay, because this is really the same thing, just turn your head. Right? These moves, so in other words, these moves don't have like an orientation, like, it's not like one way has to be up, okay? The other thing is these pictures can all be distorted by planar isotopy. So that's important to mention here. Planar isotopy may, so I'll say may, but usually when you think about it, it's really distorting the pictures. Like in real life, when you're using these moves, it might not look so nice like this. It may distort the pictures, the projection, or let's say the pictures. So pick an easy example of what I mean in case it's confusing. Like say you see a piece of, let's draw a knot here. So let's draw something like this. I'll keep it fairly simple. So say I draw a projection like this. Well, I can look at this and say, I'm going to apply a type 1 move. Where do I apply the type 1 move? Let's apply it inside here. Okay, so maybe I should use colored chalk. Oh, I forgot my colored chalk. It's not. Got my colored chalk. But if you look inside here, you'll see that there's sort of essentially a thing like this appearing, right? It's been distorted. Does everyone see that? So inside here is like just a simple kind of loop. It's been distorted. So if I apply the type 1 move, then I get what? Yeah, I get a picture, the standard picture. It was already the trefoil. It's easy to make this mistake, and I make it too. But you shouldn't probably refer to a specific picture of the trefoil as only the trefoil, right? These are all, this is a picture, this is the same, this describes the same knot. The name of the knot is the trefoil. So this is, these are 2 pictures of the trefoil. But the important thing is here I apply the type 1 move. Okay. Actually, you might think, well, no, these type 1, type 2, type 3, these Reidemeister moves are useful because it's kind of obvious from looking at them that if I apply them to a picture, I still have a picture of the same knot. There are other things I can do to the picture, right?